Now, before getting started, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody, or Happy Holidays if you celebrate something else. And if you don't celebrate anything at all this time of the year, I still hope you and your family and friends are all doing well, and that the year ahead is better than the last few years have been for all of us. Anyway, fittingly enough, perhaps, Christmas is kind of the reason or cause behind making this video, because images have been surfacing online of a present that Lucasfilm employees have received this year. And though the present itself is pretty cool, it is a suitcase record player that has the Lucasfilm logo on it. It's pretty cool, even though records are not my thing. It's actually the box that this present has come in that has caused a lot of speculation and rumors to start churning. Because on it are projects in the works at Lucasfilm. On one side we have Indiana Jones 5, we have Kenobi, Andor, and the Book of Boba Fett, while on the other side we have Willow, Visions, The Bad Batch, and something called Tales of the Jedi. And that is a name a lot of you might immediately remember or recognize as a series of comic books from the mid-90s published by Dark Horse that were set in the Old Republic era. It's also interesting to note that it was just recently announced that Dark Horse would once again be publishing Star Wars comics after being out of the game for about 7 years at this point. They lost the license after Disney purchased Lucasfilm, and Marvel had exclusive rights to Star Wars comics. We also know that next year the original Tales of the Jedi series will be reprinted, and so I guess this logo could be just referring to that series coming back, either in the reprinted form or it will be continued. However, I highly doubt that a comic book series would make this box, if you will. This is likely referring to something much bigger, a much bigger project at Lucasfilm. I mean, technically the Dark Horse comics are not even at Lucasfilm. They're going to be, of course, overseen by Lucasfilm, but they will be completely separate. They will be something produced by Dark Horse. And so more than likely this is referring to something else entirely. And when we look at the fact that it is sandwiched between The Bad Batch and Visions, well, it leads one to speculate that this is perhaps an animated series in the works. So could it be an animated series based on the original comics, or something else set in the Old Republic era? Now, we have heard rumors for a while. We even had Kathleen Kennedy at one point confirm that something in the Old Republic was in the works. And we also had the recent announcement that Knights of the Old Republic is being remade. So this could all be connected. This could be a new animated series set in the Old Republic era. However, I really don't think that's going to be the case. Instead, I think a couple other options are much more likely, including a series set in the High Republic era. And I'm going to operate under the assumption this is going to be an animated series. Technically, this could be live action, or this could be something else entirely. It could just be the comic books. But considering it made the box, if you will, I'm going to assume this is a much larger in-house project at Lucasfilm, and I'm going to assume, due to the placement, that it is animated. And so operating under that assumption, I think High Republic era makes the most sense. They're clearly going all in on this era. We have an upcoming video game, we have the series The Acolyte, and we have, of course, all the books and comics, which are the foundation. So it seems the most likely that in the golden age of the Jedi, as they call it, we would have a animated, probably very kid-friendly series called Tales of the Jedi, that they would just reuse this name from a series of comics set in the Old Republic era that came out 25 years ago. Another good or strong possibility then is an animated series in the Mandoverse era featuring Luke and Grogu and the beginning of his Jedi Order. I think, and I've said it before, it is only a matter of time. It is a foregone conclusion that we will get some type of series or show featuring those two characters. The end of The Mandalorian Season 2 was the perfect setup for it. And you would have, of course, one of the most popular and beloved characters of all time in Star Wars, that being Luke Skywalker. And you will merge him with easily the most marketable, profitable, and beloved character in the Disney era, or created in the Disney era, which is Grogu. Like I said, this is just a matter of time before these two characters are put together somewhere and a series happens. And I think Tales of the Jedi could be the perfect name for that series, though of course you do have the big problem of all roads lead to the sequel trilogy, meaning it would be kind of odd to have this series where Luke is training Grogu. He's probably going to train Ben at some point in the series and all these other students. And of course we know how wrong it all has to go. We know that in order for the movie The Last Jedi to make sense, that, well, Grogu would technically have to die, wouldn't he? I mean, yes, they could have him go into hiding once again. They could do that trick once again. But if you really want to have the impact of that film, we need to know that Grogu is not out there, right? Because otherwise, well, Rey is not the last hope, is she? We have a Yoda species survivor out there who is clearly strong with the Force and could easily one day resurrect the Jedi Order. And so again, the question Disney and Lucasfilm have to face is, do you want to kill off this beloved and profitable character just to align with a series of films that divided your fan base and that not a lot of fans really want to have anything to do with going forward? And I don't really want to go too deep into the whole discussion about retconning the sequels or creating alternate timelines. I've said it before, I'll say it again right here. It's all about money. If Disney feels like retconning the sequels or creating alternate timelines will lead to more profit than embracing the sequels, well, then that's probably what they're going to do. And so you do have this Grogu dilemma. What do you do with this character? Again, do you keep him alive and put him in hiding, which just is going to undermine the sequels anyway? Or do you kill him off to align with those films and then throw away a character who could live for hundreds of years yet? That could be a thread throughout multiple stories going forward, well into the future of your franchise. But anyway, to start to wrap this up, if I had to make a guess here, I would say that Tales of the Jedi will end up being an animated series set in the High Republic era that will feature all the different Jedi characters they've made, and will be something similar in style to the Clone Wars, where you will have anthology style and you will bounce around between these different Jedi type characters. I do not think it'll be Old Republic. Again, I don't know that they want to go into multiple different timelines, that they want to go too deep into different eras, I should say. I know they are making Knights of the Old Republic, and I think if that game is as successful as it could be, and probably will be, they may then start to focus on that. But right now, they are all in on High Republic, I feel, and that's where the series will set. And at the same time, I do think we will eventually, it is a foregone conclusion again, we will get a series about Grogu and Luke. Again, I think the big questions about that series is, where do you want that series to go? Do you want it set in the current timeline where the sequel trilogy happens and where Grogu theoretically should have to die? Or do you want to have something like that series take you in a whole other direction and then to eventually overwrite the sequels, or to give us a whole different story entirely? Again, this is the great dilemma that Lucasfilm and Disney face, and I cannot see them killing off this character for any reason whatsoever. Not when you consider we can go back to the prequel era and see his original training, how he was found, and maybe get a little bit of backstory for his people. We can see how he then escaped and what happened to him in the time between the prequels and The Mandalorian. Then, of course, we can continue to explore his story during The Mandalorian with Luke and his Jedi training. We can then take him hundreds of years into the future where he is now the Grand Master of the Jedi Order. There is so much you can do with this character, and there is no way they will kill him off. And so I think there is a good chance, though I still think it'll be High Republic, I think there is a good chance that Tales of the Jedi could be the story of Luke and Grogu and Luke's failed Jedi Order that maybe won't end up being failed this time around. Well, that's all I've got for this time. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think Tales of the Jedi will ultimately end up being. Will it be High Republic? Will it be Old Republic? Will it be Mandoverse? Will it be something else entirely? Whatever you think, leave a comment below and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.